We travel constantly. We're a family of 7. We take multiple extended vacations every year. We see new countries on a monthly basis, and we do it all on one income. So I've come up with 7 ways that it's possible for us to do this and how you can do it too. Let's get started. If you want to travel but you feel like you can't afford it, you can afford it. Maybe not right now, but there are ways to make it affordable. We live on one income. A military income. A lot of the people I work with always talk about how they aren't able to travel because of finances. They always say they don't have the money to travel, but I know they do if they just budget for it. So I want to talk about how we're able to travel so much whenever so many other people that are making the same or more than we make aren't able to travel at all, or at least they don't feel like they can. If we haven't met yet, my name is Kalen. I'm the founder of Freedom Sprout, where we talk about raising intentional children and living intentional lives. If that interests you, please hit the subscribe button below. Now here are 7 ways that we are able to afford to travel constantly. Number 1, we're debt free. We paid off all of our debt. We had around $24,000 in consumer debt. I'll link a video about our experience paying off that debt. But that is a huge factor in us being able to travel. Being debt-free frees up that monthly cash flow and allows us to budget for it. Number 2, I developed a side income. I started blogging in 2013. It took me 2 years before I saw a dime from it, but now my side income rivals my primary income. And with blogging, I can do it while we travel, so I can constantly be making that extra money in the morning before everyone else wakes up. Number 3, we budget for travel. We're intentional about what we spend our money on, what we spend every dollar on. And travel is a big part of our life. Like, it's really important to us. So because of that, a large part of our budget is dedicated to travel. So we're very frugal whenever we're at home and whenever we're not traveling. We're not constantly eating out. We're not constantly buying extra things, so that whenever we travel, we're able to spend that money on the things that really matter to us. And along the same lines, number 4, we save for travel when we're not traveling. During the weeks and the months and the times that we're not able to travel, especially lately with COVID, it's been more like months, we're still saving for the travel whenever we are able to. When the time comes for us to be able to travel more, we're gonna have a big chunk of money saved up for it because we're saving while we're not traveling. Number 5, we sacrifice in other areas. We spend our money and we teach our kids to spend their money on experiences instead of things. We don't buy a lot of toys or video games for our kids, and they don't really want that stuff. They've learned to value experiences over things, and now they have a love for travel. That leads me into number 6, we're frugal when we do travel. When we go to a new place, our main goal is to see the place, to experience the place, not to see the attractions, not to spend a lot of money on amusement parks, not to go spend a lot of money on souvenirs. It's to see the place. So we spend a lot of our time just walking around the city, experiencing it. And a lot of times the things we really want to see, like in Europe, a lot of the churches and a lot of the exhibits and stuff like that is free anyways, so we don't even have to budget for that. So if you just want to see new places and see the history and walk around and experience things and even into nature and stuff like that, it doesn't cost much at all. And the next point may be the most important in relation to travel itself. Number 7, we're frugal with how we travel. Typically, whenever we travel, we do it by car. We try to drive everywhere we go because there's 7 of us, and plane tickets are expensive even if we're using the European budget airlines. When we do fly, we make sure we're smart with how we book our tickets. We book them enough in advance to get a better deal on them. If we have to fly, we try to fly during off season whenever the tickets are cheaper in general and everything there is cheaper in general. And then whenever we fly throughout Europe, we do use those European budget airlines, which have tickets sometimes as low as $10 just to travel around Europe. And we travel light, so we don't have to worry about paying for checked bags. A lot of budget airlines do charge for checked bags. We travel light, so at most we're going to have 1 checked bag for the entire family, but if it's less than a week trip, we can usually do it with just our carry-ons. And I'll link a video that I did on traveling light and how we're able to do it even with so many of us. So if you have any questions or concerns, or you feel like you can't afford to travel, let me know in the comments. I'd like to talk about it. And before you go, please subscribe to get more videos on money, minimalism, and our travel journey around the world. If you want to raise intentional children, check out my new book, Intentional Children. I'll put a link to that below. That's all for today. I will see you next week.